bitch. Oh, excuse you. Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry Annie. Oh, it's Chris Elliman Unfiltered, bitch. Oh, look, we're live. Okay, let's do that again. Because I was like, oh, I was live for a second. But anyway, greetings, ladies, gentlemen, theys, and thems. It's your boy, Chris Avalon, and welcome to Unfiltered, the most unapologetic, opinionated, messiest, and sassiest show currently on the internet. Now, for those of you tuning in, Chris Avalon Unfiltered is a show where we dive deep into the latest headlines in entertainment, pop culture, and every now and again, we'll get a little political, if it falls within the whole entertainment situation. So do yourselves a favor and grab yourselves a drink, a snack, or whatever, get your, whatever's your pleasure. And let's get into this here gig. Now, before we sip on the latest trending tea, can you please do me a solid and smash that like and subscribe button down below? And be sure to follow all my social media platforms, which you will see popping up throughout the show as well. So Chris Avalon, the Chris Avalon _ the Chris Avalon is all up there. Now, hello. I know we're on a slight delay or whatever, having a little technical issues, but we're going to push through this episode. So please bear with me. I'm going to give everybody a couple of minutes to kind of pop in and chime in and leave the comments or whatever, depending on, because the good thing about us doing a live show is that y'all can chime in with the commentary and I'll read it as the show goes along. So we do have a lot of topics that we're going to be covering today. We're going to be talking about Britney Spears breaking a lot of records in the book world. Also, Shar Jackson has something to say about a part of Britney's book that she says is far from true. We're going to talk about this fallout from what's going on, all the drama that's going on over at DragCon right around now. All the stuff that led up to it, between Ramona being removed from DragCon. BravoCon. What am I talking about? I said DragCon. I don't know, all these damn conventions. I'm so used to DragCon. The funny thing is, when I did the show yesterday, and I'm going to get into it in a minute, the Raquel show, we were sitting there talking about conventions, and she was trying to prove to me, this is like, you could just put anything together and people will show up to it. Even production had a remind me. He said, no, it's BravoCon. Like, my mind, I'm thinking about drag queens, because we do got some drag stuff that's going to be popping up later on in the show about RuPaul's Drag Race. So definitely stay tuned for that. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about the whole fallout, what's going on over at BravoCon. There's a couple of clips and things I've been seeing that's been coming out of BravoCon that we'll talk about throughout the show. Eboni K. Williams and Bethenny Frankel are beefing. There's a season of Ultimate Girls Trip that we may not get, that may never see the light of day because of some assault allegations and stuff that's been coming out. We're also going to talk about this drama that's going on between DJ Akademiks and Saucy Santana and the City Girls and the whole drama that's been going on with that. I'm going to weigh in and give my thoughts on that as well. But before we do that, I want to quickly give a shout out to Kylie Minogue, who kicked off her residency over in Vegas. I did a whole article on it. There's a really good breakdown of the whole residency, the Vegas residency. I think the guy don't even know what the hell it's called. I don't even think they even know what it's called. But the residency is happening. I read the Mew Muse. They did one of the people that went did a full-on breakdown of what transpired from the residency. So if y'all want to read that article, definitely go over to my website after the show, preferably, and read it, because it was good. They basically interviewed themselves on what you can and cannot expect. From what I'm hearing, because Christina Aguilera is going to be doing the same residency, her and Kylie Minogue are going to be kind of, rotating the residency at the Voltaire. From what I'm hearing, they've got other acts acts like DJs and Jelly Bean Benitez, I heard, is spinning there, who, you know, worked with Madonna back in, actually he dated Madonna 100 years ago, and worked with her in the early aspects of her career. He's doing a thing there. So they're mixing in a DJ set, dancers, and all these other people, and Kylie's kind of coming in doing a 75-minute show, and then she's done, and then they bring in a DJ. I was like, what? That ain't what the people paid for. That is not. Oh yeah, I forgot. So y'all do definitely. I forgot. We have at the top. We got the QR code, so y'all can scan that, and it'll take you directly to the website. And you can go and see what's it doing up there. But yeah, so they have her kind of interweaving throughout this whole event. And I heard that the bottle service, there was a couple of things that was a hot ass mess that they still trying to work out. It's like, sure, it's a mess. But this is not Kylie's fault. This is the Voltaire's fault. They haven't figured out how to make this whole situation work. You know, she gonna show up and give you a show, which I heard there's no complaints about the show. The show was great. The songs, you know, it's basically perfect the way they set it up. The opening to the close. But it's just everything else that comes with it. And I know that might mess up the Kylie fans because they're like, we didn't pay for all this. I didn't come here to see all these other acts in between, you know, before we get to see Kylie. And I didn't want to hear a DJ set. I came to see her. And then when she's done, I can take my ass off and maybe play some craps or do whatever up in Vegas for however long I'm going to be there. I don't want this extra shit. So yeah, I heard about that. And then I heard some tea also that Madonna, Dua Lipa, you know, I can't call her Dua Lipa. Shout out to Wendy Williams. She started the whole Dua Lipa thing. So you got Madonna, Dua Lipa, and Coldplay are going to be headlining, not Coachella. That was the one I was at, Glastonbury next year in 2024. That's like the Coachella of overseas, the European thing. So I'm actually hoping that happens. That would be a good show to go check out. See, I'm hearing that, but without further ado, let's get into the show. I just need to get those out really quick. And that was like breaking news that came out earlier today, and it's not part of the show. It was just something I wanted to bring up and give a shout out to. So shout out to Madonna, who's well on her tour. I think she's in Barcelona, as they like to say. You know, you gotta have the lisp in there. So, you know, she's over in Barcelona right now, doing her tour. I don't know what the next stop is. I'll see that when, you know, I see with the next video that pops up, because I was watching the concert on YouTube earlier. But anyway, so let's get into this, our first topic, which is all the trends going on with the MCU. So Variety did a full-on breakdown, which I thought was really good. If you guys get a chance, definitely check that article out. I think I have it linked on my page as well. That Mahershala Ali threatened to leave Blade, the reboot that has gone through so far 6 damn writers, because one of the scripts planned to have him as a 4th lead in his own MCU movie. Now, one of the writers took to social media to respond to the rumors that's going on. So just shout out to Screen Rant for this story. Now, despite being announced all the way back in July 2019, so that's like literally almost 5 years since they've even started filming anything. The new Blade movie with Ali has had a complicated journey from numerous director changes, rewrites, and delays. The MCU audience will have to wait a bit longer to see the iconic superhero reimagined in the Avengers-based franchise. It has been a day since the initial report emerged about what is going on behind the scenes with the upcoming Marvel Studios movies, including the reveal that Blade's screenplay had Ali's character supposedly being treated as a 4th lead in his own movie. However, Michael Starbury, one of the screenwriters who worked on the Blade script, has broken in silence on troubling reports about the MCU reboot movie. Now, here's what he said. He said, I worked on a draft of this before the strike. Never saw a version where Blade was 4th lead or it was a narrative led by women and filled with life lessons. But I suppose a lot could have happened since I had anything to do with it. He was in 99% of the script I was a part of. Wait, first of all, they're talking about life lessons. First of all, we don't go to see a Blade movie to learn no life lessons. This is not an episode of Read a Rainbow or one of them other things. We go to see a Blade movie because we want to see a black vampire hunter on screen killing vampires with some martial arts and his weapons. That's what we want. And me personally, I don't like the idea that Blade has over at Disney, because I feel like y'all gonna water down the product and you're gonna Disney fight it. Although I will say this, I did hear that Deadpool's going to be rated R, but that's different because I guess Deadpool started out the way it did. And then, the whole mess going on with the MCU with the fact that they had, like, Disney Plus had no damn showrunners on their programs, which probably explains why them shows was a hot ass mess. Now, I'm glad they Bob Iger came in and was smart to hire a showrunner for the new Daredevil show after they scrapped what they've shot so far because it wasn't working. Like, duh. First of all, that's why you hire a showrunner to make sure that shit stays on track of the way it needs to. So, I'm glad. So they hired the showrunner of the Punisher series, which I wish they would bring back because I loved that show when it was on Netflix, to showrun this show. And I did see the trailer for Echo. That show looks really good. Like, they showed actual, like, real violent stuff over there. So if y'all get a chance, if y'all have not seen that trailer, definitely check out the trailer for Echo because it looks really good. And I'm hearing that they're dropping all the episodes at once, which is none of it's, like, to me, that's like some Netflix type mess. And I don't like when they drop shows at once because it makes me seem like y'all don't really have faith in the series. Whereas we all know statistics show that shows work better week to week. Why do you think people still chiming in about Gen V? Because they released the first 3 episodes in the first week, and then after that it was weekly episodes, and people kept talking about it. You drop a show at once, I'm gonna finish the whole show in one day, or maybe 2, because I like to stretch out my shows. But I say all this to say, MCU is a mess. I'm glad they're working things out. What I need for them to do over there is maybe, because not Bob Iger, Kevin Feige is spread too thin. I really feel like he's spread too thin. They have way too many movies coming out at once, way too many shows coming out at once. There were too many reshoots. They didn't have a script locked in. There was a lot of issues regarding special effects was looking like crap. And we've seen so many movies that have come out of the MCU that I was so disappointed in, especially during Phase 4. I was angry about. I could not stand Ant-Man and the Wasp. Thought that movie was terrible. The CGI was even worse. Although I did like what the hell's his name? Jonathan Majors. I thought he was good as Kang, even though I'm hearing rumors that they may remove him and bring in Doctor Doom. But y'all should have taken the opportunity to bring in Doctor Doom and introduce him sporadically, kind of like how they did back in the day with Thanos. Y'all sprinkled him out in a couple of the movies before he got to be in his own, like the Avengers movie. If they would have did it like that, then it would be believable. Now it's kind of like y'all got to just throw him in, and that it's not gonna feel authentic. We're not gonna buy into it. So hopefully, going forward, they find out a way to sprinkle him sporadically throughout the thing, so that way we're not just, some Dr. Doom just gonna show up out of nowhere. Like, y'all gotta set that up. So with the Blade movie, this reminds me a lot of the drama that happened with Blade Trinity. Remember back in the day when Dave Goyer, I don't know who decided to make him direct, but he directed Blade Trinity. That movie was god awful. And you heard the stories about Wesley Snipes, that he allegedly tried to choke the director, that he only would speak through Post-its, and you had to refer to him as Blade, so he stayed in character the whole time, and then y'all sidelined him because y'all wanted to make Ryan Reynolds and Jessica Biel the leads. Well, y'all should have just had Blade lead his movie, and then you have Hannibal King and Abigail Whistler as the side character, and the Night Stalkers as the side characters, with the potential of spitting them off into their own movie or TV series. That's what they should have did, but instead, y'all kind of just wanted to put Blade in the background. We didn't go to the movies to see the Night Stalkers. We wanted to see Blade because Wesley Snipes was that dude that kicked ass, and we loved seeing that on the screen. So, please do not do this with this film, because we have not had a good Blade movie, in my opinion, since Blade 2, which was directed by, with Guillermo del Toro. He was the last one that gave us a good Blade movie. So please do right by this damn franchise, because y'all definitely could use some help with this franchise. Because in my opinion, if Blade is not Blade and don't get to be Blade, then what's the point of me investing my time into the movie? Because if y'all don't believe in the product, why the hell should we as a viewing audience? Tickets for the movies ain't cheap these days. It's expensive as hell. And I'm not spending $30 damn to see no half-ass film. So good luck to y'all, MCU, because y'all definitely gonna need it. So in my opinion, definitely take a page out of, you know what, just like at one point the DCU was trying to copy. What needs to happen with the MCU is like take a page out of DCU, which is get Kevin Feige a partner. Kevin Feige handles what he handles, and then you have another person. Oh, you have one person handle the business aspect. You have the other person handle like the more artistic aspect, which means make sure that the stories are airtight before y'all greenlight any product. Like Kevin Feige, like not Kevin Feige, like James Gunn. James Gunn is handling all the film stuff, and then you have Peter Safran who's handling all the business stuff. So that's what you do. So yeah, good luck to y'all, because I don't have superhero fatigue. I have mediocre movie superhero fatigue. All right, so I want to give a congratulations to Britney Spears, whose book The Woman in Me has sold 1.1 million copies. And it's well deserved. That's a lot of books, a lot of copies, and I think a lot of people were curious to read what she has to say regarding her personal life. So one of the people who's coming out against Britney is Shar Jackson, who is calling cap on Britney Spears' claims in her memoir, The Woman in Me, that she was unaware that Kevin Federline had a child and another baby on the way when they started dating back in 2004. Now, according to Page Six, when Kevin met Britney, she said this, because I got this from Page Six, I should say. She said, and I quote, "When Kevin met Britney, we had 3 kids and 1 on the way, and we were living in a 6-bedroom house in Orange County, California," the Moesha star claimed in an interview with the Daily Mail published Friday. The backup dancer and Jackson had 1 child together, a daughter named Corey, but he helped raise her 2 kids from a previous relationship as well. One day, when I had bad morning sickness as I was about 6 months pregnant, Kevin had an audition for a Coke commercial or something in LA. I didn't hear from him for 3 days. Jackson 46 continued. She said she found out, that Kevin and the womanizer hitmaker met the first night he disappeared. "I felt angry and betrayed, and I went numb. I went onto autopilot," she recalled. In her new bombshell memoir, The Woman in Me, Spears claims she was clueless about Federline's situation and confronted him as soon as she found out. "You have kids, you have children, not only 1 child, but 2 children," the 41-year-old star recalled, saying to her beau when she discovered the news. She claimed a close friend had told her the information once she had already been with him for a while. However, Jackson refuted Spears' claims and said she was fully aware and even waited outside the Orange County, California hospital as Federline watched his second child, a son named Caleb, come into the world. The Grammy-winning actor reportedly got engaged days after Caleb was born. They would go on to tie the knot in 2004 and welcome 2 sons, Sean Preston, now 18, and Jaden James, now 17. And she said, "When I married Kevin, I meant it with all my heart." Well, look. And then she, talked about in the book how, like, she saw when she was married to Kevin that he got, he was trying to start off his career as a rapper, and how she saw many a times how, this industry would ruin people, particularly when you're out smoking weed all day and you get caught up in the fame and all the other stuff, how it ruins, a lot of people, particularly a lot of men in the business. And do I believe Shar Jackson? I absolutely do. I do believe that Britney was aware. First of all, Britney was getting around quiet as it's kept when she was, young and coming up in the business. So she's not that innocent. And I'm glad that she brought up the fact that, yeah, she's been hunching since she was 14, but Britney talked about she loves sex. She said she loves to eat and she loves sex, but she said that around the time she was pregnant. I think she was loving sex before she got pregnant and had her kids. And, there's a lot of temptation that goes around. And there was an interview that I did with Raquel Red yesterday. I'm going to talk a little bit about that more after I talk about this segment. And she was bringing up that how she knew Felicia Collada, who she came up with Britney, and who was her guardian while, she was underage and she was watching over her and all that other stuff. And she was talking about how, like, Britney does mention in the book that she had an addiction to Adderall. And the fact of the matter that the amount of bottles, empty bottles of Adderall that they were finding lying around. And I believe that may have transpired and why Britney isn't 100,000% her. That when you abuse prescription medication, you don't realize the toll that it takes in your body. We've seen it happen time and time again. We've seen it happen to people like Prince. We've seen it happen to Michael Jackson. We've seen it happen to Britney. We've seen it happen to who was the latest? Wendy Williams. Her addiction, alcohol and prescription medication, and what that damage has done to her body, along with the hard drugs that she was taking. So I'm not surprised at all that that would be the thing with Britney. Allegedly. Speaking of which, child, we was talking yesterday about how she brought up this conspiracy thing on her show, Raquel Red. If you all get a chance, definitely check that episode out that I did. It's in my it's on my Facebook and Instagram stories. I put the link in there so people can go click on it and watch the full episode. It was like over 4 hours, but it was a show, honey, and we definitely did the thing. But anyway, so she brought this thing about how Lou Taylor, who y'all know was a part of the whole conservatorship and had some type of deal, whatever, where she got the devil, known as Britney father, Jamie, and them got all the cahoots to try to get them, Britney caught up in the whole conservatorship, which she did, and had her hooks into her money, where she told me she also tried to get Lindsay Lohan in a conservatorship in Amanda Bynes. So you was out here purposely going after troubled girls and getting their parents to try to co-sign on that thing so you can get a whole of their money. So, and what I didn't know is that Lou Taylor is also in charge of the Kardashian money. So she said this thing about how the Britney is missing $600 million. The $600 million, all of a sudden, Skims is worth $600 million. And now there was another story that came out that Kylie Jenner is trying to buy back her cosmetics line for $600 million. Why would you sell your company to buy it back? You sell the company because you don't want to deal with the bullshit that comes with it. You just want to sit on your money and keep it moving. So this Lou Taylor chick, I don't trust that lady as far as I can throw her. But I'm just going to say allegedly, because you're not going to come after me. Because word on the curb is this bitch like throwing around cease and desist. So good luck, Britney. I'm hoping what I hope that transpires from all of this. So do I think like she saw this boy and she saw this good looking dude and just didn't care how she got him? She just wanted that meat and she wanted to just get with the man by any means necessary. I'm sure she did. I mean, we've seen this story happen time and time again in the entertainment industry. A lot of times these people don't care if you're in a relationship or whatever the case is. You just want to get that, you want to get what you want to get by any means necessary because you in love or the sex is great. But I don't think Kevin was innocent in his situation either. I think that he saw opportunity and he seized it because he's with this big star and being with her is going to help him get to where he needs to go. But then he thought because he was getting all this attention and all his accolades and all these people was wanting to work with him, he thought that it was gonna build his cachet. But them people ain't give a damn about you. They was only giving a damn about you and hanging out and being and messing with you because of your association with Britney. So, and whatever happened to the Mr. Popo's music, it came and went. Nobody cared. So yeah, good luck to you, Britney. And I'm hoping with this whole situation that happens in the future is that now that you've gotten all this out of your system and now the book has been successful, you made a crap ton of money from this book tour because you selling books like how you used to sell CDs the first week back in the day. 1.1 million copies. I'm hoping that you take this stuff and you find a way to channel that and maybe come out with some music or whatever the case is. Like, I don't know. I just feel like you can no longer blame all these people for why your life was the way it was. You had your catharsis, you exercised all the demons and put it into this memoir. Now it's time to just move on to the next chapter of your life, which is to become stronger than yesterday. Yes, that was intentional. All right, so let's get into this tea about. Oh, before we get to that, I do want to tell y'all that yes. So I was alluding, talking about a little bit, alluding to it. I did a show. I did Arcan Live, which was hosted by Raquel Red, who is a drag queen out of Tennessee. She does a weekly show. She discovered me on TikTok because I was posting a lot of my videos and stuff on there. Like a lot of times with this full show, I take a lot of the clips and I'll edit them and I post them on TikTok so people can watch it. And she discovered the show and basically loves like my style, my interview style. We talked about a lot of things and she invited me on her show. I said, yes, let's do something this week, because one of the things I've always wanted to do was reach out to other content creators and get myself out there and so people could be aware of what I do and they can, come and see what I do over here, bringing new guests and new viewers, basically is what I'm trying to say. So I was like, let me just branch out and go on other people's shows. And I'm always open to collaborating with other people because I feel like that I like doing things by myself, but at times I also love working. I like working in a team setting and collaborating with other people. Like I'm not somebody who's selfish in that way. Like I'm always willing to come in and work with other people because I feel like, two heads are better than one. So I did the show. The episode was pretty long. Like we went over 4 hours with talking about all the celebrity news and gossip. I talked a little bit about the next topic that I'm going to get into, which is about what's going on with BravoCon with Ramona. We talked about Jada Pinkett. We also talked about my interview that I did with Daniel McGarrigle, where she pulled and she showed some clips of the interview, and she was like, she loved my interview style, which was a good compliment for me because I have to say that I'm not always 110% confident in my style of interviewing because I always feel that I'm not necessarily 100% like the best at the thing. But she said that she loved the fact that it was like, oh, when you ask all the details, all the things you were asking, all the things that I want to know, like what did the room smell like? And I think it's 2Ds is Raquel Red's show. But anyway, she basically talked about, she said she just loved my style of interviewing, and I appreciated the fact that she said that because a lot of times, like I said, I don't always feel 1,000% confident in my style of interviewing. So hearing people like that I came up with the questions and I basically, and I did slip a couple of ones in there that were not part of it. Which was like basically, particularly the scene when I asked was there any penetration, because I feel like when it comes to talking about SA, the main thing that you always want to know is you want to know every detail, which is was there penetration? Because a lot of times there's different. I feel like there's always levels to everything. There's always levels to sexual assault. It's not always penetration. Doesn't always happen with assaulting someone. You can grab somebody by the genitals. You can say something inappropriate that people consider assault, or unwanted touching, unwanted kissing, forcing yourself to kiss somebody. We're going to talk about a topic that I have later on in this show about something going on in Bravo. So there's different levels of that stuff. So you always want to make sure that you have all the details. And my thing is, I give people a platform. I want people to be aware, and you can take with it as you will. So shout out to Raquel Red for having me on her show. And it was I had a great time. I wasn't planning on drinking because, I've been dealing with a cold and stuff. I have been feeling better because if y'all heard me last week, I was damn near about to lose my lungs with the amount of coughing I was doing live on air. So I was like, I just have my water. I want my water and I want my check. So I channeled with Nene Leaks. I just want my water and I want my check. So I was like, okay, so now everybody's drinking. She had her drink. I think she was drinking Prosecco. So I was like, okay, let me just go get my drink. And I just got me some whiskey, poured in a little mason jar, and I was like, let's go. So, I was loosey-goosey. But anyway, yes. So if you guys get a chance, definitely check out My Parents on Raquel Red. I know it's on YouTube, but I posted the link to the episode in my story. So if you happen to go onto my Facebook and Instagram stories, you could definitely check out the full episode there, where I basically tell a bit about my background, me getting in this industry, and we talked hot topics. It was a one time. My particular favorite part of the interview was doing the Halloween. Like we did a little Mariah Carey thing, which was cute, and we also we did a we did a little contest, or we played a game basically, similar to what I did a couple of weeks ago with Lindsay, where we talked about the outfits at the VMAs. We basically looked at a bunch of Halloween costumes and gave our opinion on who had the best costumes. So you can definitely check out that and a whole lot more on Raquel, Raquel RKN Live. Yeah, so definitely check that out. Like I told you, I'll just go on my stories, you'll see it. All right, so let's get back into the show and talk about Ramona Singer, who ass got fired from her real estate job and was disinvited from BravoCon. She was fired from the gig on Tuesday, according to Page Six. She's been embroiled in controversy after Vanity Fair published an expose about Real Housewives Network Bravo. Now, in the piece, for those of you who've been living under a rock, I'll fill you in. It was alleged that she used the N-word in a conversation with a Black crew member during Housewives while the Housewives was in production during their 13th season. The lengthy bombshell feature claims Singer's alleged use of the racial slur resulted in a complaint at her show's production and parent companies Shed Media, Warner Brothers Discovery, Bravo, and NBC Universal. Singer has denied using the slur, and the results from an internal investigation were inconclusive. But then there was a story that I remember that came out that said that she texted it to a producer. We'll get to that part in a second, but I just want to give y'all the whole breakdown of everything else. Now, they said that she was cut from BravoCon, as I stated earlier, which is currently going on in Las Vegas. And she tried to downplay the use of the N-word in a text to a Page Six reporter, which landed her in further hot water. Which basically was like, oh, I didn't say N-word. She said the actual damn word. I'm like, bitch, you done made it worse. I mean, I would have just denied the damn thing, even though when I look at Ramona, I definitely see racist with her. Or just, if you've ever seen or followed her on those seasons of The Real Housewives, you're well aware that Ramona has said some things that, like, if she was out in any other place in the world and cameras wasn't involved, her lips would be hitting that pavement. She'd be eating concrete for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But because she is a Karen, privileged, living in New York City, she feels like she can say and do whatever the hell she wants with no consequence. And, for 13 years, Bravo allowed her to get away with saying the shit she said because it made them a lot of money. And that's the ongoing thing. That's what happens with everybody. Until you mess up the situation and you piss them off, then, oh no, we can't have y'all associated with our brand. We have to get rid of you. So it made perfect sense for them. As Andy said, they made the right call. He texted it to her that they had to make the right call by removing her from BravoCon. They didn't want this overshadowing what they have going on, because apparently they're going to be showing their season of Ultimate Girl Trip. They're talking about, Bravo's in crisis mode. They've got to deal with the fallout of this. They got to deal with the fallout of the Morocco season with Brandi Glanville and Caroline Manzo, which we're going to get into later on, where they're going to talk about the possibility we may never see that episode because of the assault that happened during filming between two of the cast members. So that season may never see the light of day. So they're in crisis mode because their Ultimate Girls Trip spinoff. You have 2 seasons of shows that they're in crisis mode over. So it's like, well, what do we fill our slots with? Because over at BravoCon, they already started showing. They showed the Vanderpump Rules teaser. which looks really good, and this comes out in January. They started showing they showed a clip of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, like what we have coming on this upcoming season. That show, Jersey, looks really good this season, especially with John Fuda and Teresa getting into it. And then I watched a little bit of the panel where, you had Teresa was on one panel, and then I think they separated her from her brother because her brother and Melissa weren't in the same room together. They had Melissa, they had Margaret, and a bunch of other people. Sidebar: Melissa Gorga is going to be at where's she going to be? She's going to be at Red Eye this week. I saw Daniel Ardicio post the I think a week from Friday, like this coming Friday. Daniel Ardicio posted it on his page. He's going to be doing it because I think he's doing a podcast with damn, I forgot what I know. Raphael Alencar is going to be on there, and I'll remember to bring it up. But yeah, she's gonna be doing a podcast or something or another at Red Eye this week, and I'm sure they're gonna ask her everything that's been going on with what happened at BravoCon and stuff. So I'm thinking I might want to go just so I get the tea. But okay, but back to Ramona, because I just went on a whole side tangent. So they said that when they went to the page, she got hired in 2021 at the law firm. And then they said that they went to the agency's link, the link to her profile on the Elliman website, and it said page not found. So they got rid of her. And she was studying for her real estate exam in March of 2021. I thought she was always in real estate. Color me confused. Maybe I just never cared enough to pay attention to what her actual profession was. So she got her real estate license, and she used Elliman to sell her Upper East Side condo in 2018. So she probably, because she knew the people, she got an in with them. And what I'm hearing is Kelly Ben-Simone is a top broker at the real estate company since joining the firm in 2019. And current RHOA star Erin Lickey, I think is her name, was already an Elliman agent when she was cast in season 14. So it seems like a lot of the Real Housewives of New York girls is, over there doing what they're doing. And I don't know. To me, it just looks like, you know what? Ramona got what she got. She deserved what she got. I'm not mad over them getting rid of her, but to me, it just looks like a bunch of smoke. Like just a bunch of BS, a bunch of smoke screens, whatever the case is. Y'all got Ramona over there doing we can't have her come up here because y'all don't want her to take away or overshadow what's going on at BravoCon. But so I'm glad she's going. I think they're done with her, or maybe not. I just think it's all performative, because when Ultimate Girls Trip comes on, are y'all gonna have her on the show to promote? That's what I'm wondering. But speaking of RHOA, let's talk about Eboni K. Williams, because her and Bethenny Frankel have been going at it. So it seems like when it comes to Eboni, Bethenny met her match. Now, earlier this week, Eboni was quoted in Vanity Fair's bombshell expose on Bravo, and she wound up saying this. She said, "You think I'm going to let some white girl speak for me with my experience as a multi-billion-dollar corporation, with a multi-billion-dollar corporation, meaning NBC, Bravo, that sort of thing." This is what she said in response to being asked if she'd be joining Bethenny's attempt to unionize reality stars. And she wound up saying, "F Bethenny Frankel." Now, Bethenny took to Instagram to respond to Eboni's shade, showing an alleged screenshot of which Eboni thanked Bethenny for using her platform for tangible change back in 2020. So she took a screenshot of an Instagram messenger where Eboni said the following. She said, "We met on a private flight from Palm Beach to NYC a couple of years ago. Just thanking you for consistently using your platform for tangible change." And she sent this back in June 3rd of 2020. But August 18th of 2022, Bethenny posted, "Wow, I never saw this. Thanks, and I'm sorry so late." Now, fast forward to 2023, Eboni then took to Instagram to clap back at Bethenny's receipt of Eboni praising her. She called out the outdated message and Bethenny for thirst trapping on other people's hardships. And she said, after we did we met on a private flight from Palm Beach to NYC a couple of years ago, She posted also after Bethenny said, "Wow, I never saw this thing. I'm sorry, so late. Do you have a minute?" That was the follow-up of what Bethenny said. And then she posted at Bethenny Frankel tried it. Hashtag go to sleep. Hashtag still on read. Pulling out a receipt from 3 years ago, back when you focused on philanthropy instead of thirst trapping on other people's hardships. So I guess she's trying to say is that this whole thing of her jumping on this us going against Bravo thing is performative. That she's doing this because she's clout chasing. She's trying to gain attention from it. That she's trying to dick ride on other people's hardships. And I'm sitting there like, I don't get why. I don't know. Maybe it colored me naive, but I was like, well, what does Bethenny have to gain from trying to take advantage of or trying to jump on other people's hardships? Because Eboni is right. Bethenny can't speak for her and what she had to deal with and all the racist the racist stuff that she said that she endured from her one season on The Real Housewives. And quiet as is kept, I like Eboni, but I feel like she was not a right fit for a franchise like The Real Housewives. If you're gonna go, that's like putting Amanda Seales on an episode or a season of Real Housewives. You need a bunch of women who are kind of sophisticated, not that bright in the brain, very vapid. It's like The Real Housewives are very much like, it's a soap opera. So people just want, it's mindless entertainment. That's what people are tuning in for. They're not tuning in to see Sister Soldier on, The Real Housewives coming down on people whenever they say something inappropriate. And I'm not excusing the behavior of the women on that franchise, because you can't tell me any of them got black friends. I don't get that energy from neither one of them women on that damn show. So when they try to flip it on having Leah be her into the show, it didn't feel real. It didn't feel authentic. And I felt like she wasn't the right fit for the show. I like Claudia Jordan when she was on Atlanta, because she was the one strong enough to go up against Nene and really keep her on her damn toes. And I really wish that Claudia would have stayed on the show, but she's off doing bigger and better things. So good for her. She doesn't need the show. And the sad part is, I did see this video and Eboni did have me cracking up, because Claudia and this other person was on a podcast. And Eboni, people like Eboni and people like Claudia, they don't need a Real Housewives to make themselves relevant. I mean, it helps that it brings more attention to what you're doing or the other things that you got going on. But, at the end of the day, they're still doing their things. These other women are on here, trying to bend the knee and kiss the ring of Lord Andy Cohen, because they want to keep their jobs, where they have this game of these delays and stuff. I know we got to deal with restreaming, what's going on with that. So there's I guess it wasn't my fault. It's production fault. Hit the wrong button. But anyway, so Bethenny, good luck with you. I mean, if you're doing whatever it is that you're doing, I hope you know what you're doing. But it's unfortunate that the only way people listen to what's going on is if there's somebody white at the helm. And I hate the fact that there always has to be a white savior that has to come in and expose people, that black people can't be listened to, especially black women can't be listened to, so that way we know, who is, who's dealing, so that way they're heard, is what I'm trying to say. So it shouldn't have to get to that point that we have to bring in somebody to handle whatever needs to be handled. That's the unfortunate part. That it would be nice if we could have people listen to Nene and people listen to Eboni. And it wasn't until Nene, joined forces with Bethenny, that people started listening and paying attention to what she had to say. So good luck to y'all. I'm glad Ebony's moved on and she's doing her own thing, but you know what? I do not feel like she was the right fit for a show like RHOA, because like I said, it's a soap opera. The people that go on that show are, people, it's mindless entertainment. People want to go in there and watch a bunch of dumb broads get drunk and scream at each other and create drama where there isn't any. So that's why we usually watch the damn show. But speaking of Bethenny, she and Leah McSweeney called out Andy Cohen for his subtle reaction to the recent allegations made against Bravo and Ramona Singer. Now, the Real Housewives of New City alum released a RHOA podcast episode on Thursday addressing the Instagram meme of the Bravo exec commented on earlier that same day. Though at Watch What Crappens social media upload joked that Vanity Fair broke the news that adults drink and Ramona Singer is racist, referring to the outlet's Monday's expose, and Cohen responded to it with a laughing, crying emoji. Frankel 52 called the Watch What Happens Live subtle reaction shocking, especially right now. She claimed that Cohen 55 thinks he's invincible, despite Leah McSweeney filing a discrimination complaint against the network and Singer getting axed from BravoCon and her real estate gig amid fallout from the piece. Riddle me this, Frankel said. If Andy Cohen is laughing at something regarding racism, why would he not be asked to leave BravoCon if Ramona texted something to someone in the media? It's 50 Shades of it's 50 Shades of BS is what it actually is across the board, the Skinny Girl creator continued. Nothing that, for the first time in Andy's career, he's starting to feel what it feels like to be a housewife. Franklin explained, every day something you say is being written about. No one is there to save you. No one is there to protect you. You're on your own, getting canceled, losing sleep, drinking more than you should because you have anxiety, taking anxiety medication, taking sleeping medication. She shared her hopes that maybe he'll be sensitive to other housewives on TV as he starts to experience constant criticism, and concluding, watch what happens. Now, Cohen has not responded to Page Six's request, but I should also say that Leah said this. She said, wow, Andy thinks racism and addiction is hilarious. The fashion designer wrote on her story, good to know. So, and we talked about earlier that Eboni K. Williams basically told the outlet, because I didn't bring up everything that was said. The RHOA co-star said, Ramona said that Black people don't have present fathers during a virtual education session, that this is what she heard, and then that Ramona was also accused of using the N-word in a conversation with a Black crew member. She also said something, I forgot, the 66-year-old refuted this in a text to a Page Six reporter, but used a partial racial slur in her denial, writing, and the word I used was N-word, not N-I-G-G blank, blank, blank. Or N-I blank, 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 blank. But, that ended up having her cut from BravoCon. But she's so dumb. She refuted it in a text with a Page Six reporter. But why would you go and say, I used N-word? I didn't say the actual word. But ma'am, that doesn't make it any better. And this goes to show that with her mindset, she doesn't understand. She doesn't understand, or have no recollection. Wait, you said clip. It's like she doesn't take, it's like she's not understanding that, okay, you need to be held accountable for the stuff you're saying. Like, you can't be saying the craziness that you say. Like, oh, I didn't say N-word. I mean, I said N-word. I didn't say the other word. Girl, it doesn't matter. The reality is you're proving the point that you said what you said, and it was put in a text. So when you're going around telling people that most Black people don't have fathers in their life, that you're using the N-word, that you're telling the Black women on the set, oh, there's so many Black people, this is why we shouldn't have this many Black people on a show. That was reported what you said. And telling the Black women not to change their hairstyle because it's hard for you to remember their names. And this is the fullest that this heifer done said. And this is why I was saying, like with New York, what they should have did was they should have just did 2 Real Housewives and left the legacy women with their own show. Don't put no Black people on it. They didn't need it. They could have taken Leah and did a spinoff with younger women who are of their age, because I didn't feel like Leah belonged on that show with all them old broads. Leah's the younger. She was like, what, her early 40s? The rest of the women are 50 and up. So it would have been nice if they could have just did a spinoff, had Leah spin her own show off with a bunch of young society women. You could have had Eboni and all these other girls on there, or similar to what you're doing with the new Roni. You could do 2 New York shows. Y'all doing it with California. You got Real Housewives of Orange County, and you got Beverly Hills. Those are 2 parts of California. So if you could do 2 different parts of California as a series, you could do 2 parts of New York as a series, because we are the most diverse city in the world. And in my opinion, it's like, yeah, we're the most diverse city in the world. We need to expose that. Everybody ain't like Ramona in New York. We got some Karens, but they ain't all like Ramona. So, production says we have a clip. It's probably that clip that we've been playing a lot of on the show. So if that's what that is, roll the clip.
On Andy Cohen. So we came up together. He was a network executive, became a reunion host and a talk show host, and I had my own trajectory on a parallel path, working my way through the entertainment industry from a different side. We've shared many beach walks and secrets, and I was the highest paid housewife of all time. I rated, and I am in a position to discuss a possible union and fair and equal treatment for all reality talent, because I'm not disgruntled. I don't have my own agenda for myself, something I'm asking for. This is not a lawsuit, and this does not have anything to do with just one person or one network. I've always understood that Bravo's Andy's first priority, and the housewives. That's the realm that he protects. Those are the secrets that he keeps. The first time I ever heard him say something not directly to me, but in public, was about RHOA, when he said negative things about RHOA. And then I went on his show and felt ambushed, but that's the name of the game there. There are going to be polls and discussions, and they're designed to kind of make people look bad, produced questions, but that's how you go, promote your products there. You got to take a couple of hits. And I have had opinions on the franchise in particular, and reality TV and in particular, but I haven't felt comfortable really totally expressing that, because I didn't want to say anything untoward about Andy or about the housewives, the place that I came from. But I've grown increasingly uncomfortable with certain things. I've been put in situations where I've felt that it wasn't safe. I recently found out that I crashed a funeral, and that was very jarring, because it's felt like there is exploitation without compensation for many people. I've now, in the past couple of days, heard stories about people whose spouses have lost jobs, and people who have been threatened with contracts that they cannot use their own business and work on their own projects afterwards, because the network has to own them. And then, yes, of course, there's the Bethenny clause, and all of these different things that I'm thinking about that aren't equal and fair, and reality talent isn't compensated properly by and large. And I've run this by lawyers and people that work with unions and heads of the entertainment industry, and asked point blank, do you think I'm right? And they have all said yes. So I know that I'm right. And there are over 100 people that have also told me that I'm right, who work in this industry. Many of them are scared and threatened and have gag orders, and contracts are being used as weapons. But I want an answer, because I deserve an answer. We deserve an answer, and we're going to get the answer we deserve.
Okay, we're back. Yeah. Okay, so what I wanted to say about that is, like, well, we already, you guys, well, I don't know, this might be the first time y'all heard that clip, but yeah. So I agree with her on all the stuff that she says. But regarding the whole Andy thing, I just feel like he wants to be a housewife so bad, and loves that he has these clucking ass hens kissing his behind for his attention and season, and and the approval. Like, he loves that they try to fight for his damn approval, that they bend the knee whenever they can because he's Lord Cohen. You know, he holds the keys to the kingdom, and you know, these women, you know, salivate the mouth for his attention and to keep being on the show because fame is more addicting than money and anything else in the world. And funnily enough, when you hear like how he just giggled and kind of just put this laughing emoji about what was going on behind the scenes at Bravo, well, we've seen firsthand a couple of the problematic things that these women have said on the show, that I would thought he would have been more empathetic towards black people, or you know, people of color in general, you know, since he is the same man that has sex with young black men and gets lap dances and felt up and you know, all this other stuff in gay clubs, which I'm here for. But if you're gonna be sitting up here sleeping with my demographic, you need to be out here, you know, putting your fists up in the air and defending us as well, and not sitting up here throwing up laugh emojis with crying tears coming down. So the whole laugh rope, the racist allegation, just shows the typical thing is you don't see you see people of color as nothing more than a damn fetish. So, Bethenny, dear, if you can keep waiting for him to have empathy for the housewives in the future, because I feel like the day that happens is when they're going to serve ice water in hell. So I don't see that happening. And then I saw how Lisa Vanderpump, speaking of bending the knee and kissing the ring and all that other mess, Bethenny, I mean, you know, Lisa Vanderpump, you know, when she was at Bravo Sidebar, she was also at, what the hell? She was also at Kylie Minogue's residency. I saw like some footage of her on Twitter where she was, you know, in the booth, because, you know, her ass ain't standing up. You know, she basically was making it clear she's standing by the network. Now, she did go in on Bethenny with the following. She said, to have an amazing television career, I'm so thankful to NBC and Bravo. They've taken so much crap lately from so many people that, you know, used to work for them. And I think it's a shame. This is what she said on November 2nd. You got to also look at what they've given you as well. So I'm like, okay, first of all, ma'am, why are you asserting yourself in the conversation? And why are you trying to throw shade at Bethenny Frankel? And then she said more. She said, I think when people are going to be great, great authorities on something, they check their facts. And also I don't like the degeneration of somebody like NBC and Bravo that have given so much to these people, so many opportunities. Of course, I'm sure people got rights, but Rachel or Raquel, she said she was at some point negotiating for more money to come back. So these people that are now complaining, like Lisa Rinna saying boycott BravoCon and Bethenny saying this, I think a lot of them were pitching and asking for shows. So I guess basically what she's trying to say is that, oh, well, y'all didn't have a problem with Bravo before when y'all were up here trying to get something out of the network. And now that y'all not getting y'all way, all of a sudden y'all crying discrimination and all this other stuff. Well, two things can be true at the same time. I mean, I don't know what the history of what it is, and it does seem a bit coincidental in regards to the timing, but whatever this situation is, at least what's going on behind the scenes at Bravo is being brought to light and something is going to be done. So I don't understand why, because you got Vanderpump Rules and possibly I believe you're getting another show that's going to be, I guess, based off of your Pinky's, you know, spot over in Vegas. That's about to be on Hulu or something or another. Now you don't want to rock the boat. It's like, ma'am, stay out of grown folk business. You handle what you're dealing with. You deal with the panel over with Vanderpump Rules. You do that season 11 panel and you deal with that, and not come on and be Andy's cheerleader. Andy got to be able to, you know, defend himself. Now, speaking of Andy Cohen, I want to bring this up because, you know, how he was talking about all this other mess. He basically was asked about a possible reconciliation with Nene Leakes and said, she and I came up together. There's always room in my heart for everybody. She asked me a few years ago to keep her name out of my mouth, so I try to respect that. And I think it was from a hurtful, bitter place why she said what she said. But now you want to run up here and say, well, she said keep her name out of my, I need to keep her name out of my mouth, so I'm going to honor her wishes. Girl, get off my line with that. Like, I don't trust Andy as far as I can throw him. Like I said, he want to be a damn housewife so bad. He knows the amount of power that he has on that show. And I feel like the only way you're going to get rid of the likes of Andy Cohen, if, Bethenny's like, well, how does he get to stay on just because he's laughing at what's going on with that? They're going to have to do a surviving Andy Cohen. They're going to have to do a whole expose on him. People going to have to look into his past and see if he been doing any inappropriate things. And that'll be the way where it's like, okay, excuse me, Bravo can't be associated with anything that he's got going on, so they got to get rid of him. He could no longer be the face. So that's where it's got to get to for y'all to get rid of him, because he ain't going no damn where. All right, so word on the street. Let's get to our next topic. Excuse me. So word on the street is that Bravo fans may never get to see The Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Morocco following allegations that Brandi Glanville inappropriately touched and kissed co-star Caroline Manzo without her consent. Now, multiple sources tell Page Six exclusively that the network is considering tabling the Peacock spinoff following Caroline Manzo's sexual assault allegations against Brandi Glanville. The Ultimate Girls Trip Morocco is probably never going to air, and now that they are thinking about tabling RHOA Legacy also. NBC is really pissed off because they feel like Bravo let production company Shed ruin multiple shows, RHOA obviously being one. Our first source says the sexual abuse lawsuit brought against Bravo by the Ultimate Girls Trip butler, excuse me, we talked about that last week. Was it last week or maybe it was the week before? We talked about that a couple of weeks ago, I should say. The Ultimate Girls Trip butler, who appeared on the second season, is bringing heat to the network, as is Leah McSweeney's forthcoming lawsuit after her discrimination complaint. Another source says there is speculation regarding the fate of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, but Peacock is forging ahead with promoting RHOA Legacy at BravoCon this weekend. Which is why, they had to make sure Ramona wasn't there, because they didn't want her overshadowing that show. RHOA Legacy is still going on at BravoCon, and the trailer premiere is going ahead as planned, so no decisions have been made, the source says, adding that it will be an enormous elephant in the room. And they're going to probably make sure that whoever comes up to that mic, that you don't ask that question. I hope somebody's smart enough to slip it in. The speculation is not coming from higher ups, but people internally are wondering, the source adds. A fourth insider also confirms the trailer is slated to debut this weekend. Now, reps from Bravo and Peacock did immediately return Page Six requests, blah, blah, blah. So, it just seems like a lot of stuff has been going on with the Real Housewives where, between Ramona self-sabotaging herself by texting the N-word to a Page Six reporter, which doesn't help your situation, and then her getting fired, and then you having the whole thing in Morocco where Brandi allegedly touched, she grabbed Caroline by the cootie cat and gave her unwanted kisses while shooting Ultimate Girls Trip. And I think a lot of that stems from the fact that maybe the root of it is alcohol. Like they know what they're gonna get when they get with Brandi. They like Brandi coming on the show because she's unlike Ramona in a way. She's unfiltered. You never know what's gonna come out of her mouth. She drinks a lot. Probably mixes prescription medication, allegedly. I don't know, but she always seems like she's belligerent when she drinks. She's a lot of times have said some things that have left the women's jaws on the floor. Some of the insults and things that comes out of her mouth. She loves that C word, similar to Tiffany Pollard. Well, I'm still mad. They eliminated her on House of Villains. But that line where she read Omarosa, that shit is legendary. But anyway, back to the show. That was a legendary line, what she said about her. Ciao. Anyway, so and I like Brandi, but the fact of the matter is they pick these women on these shows because they know what they're going to get when they get with them. They want those ratings, so they bring them on to get them drunk, so that way and when you drink, your inhibitions are lowered, and you start doing things that are inappropriate. Some people are better at handling alcohol than others. It's similar to Leah McSweeney. She said that she had been sober long before she joined the Real Housewives, but the producers and people that worked on the show were strong on her and pushing her to drink, which caused her to relapse. And I will say this, they do push alcohol on you on that show. How many times I got to tell you, I did an episode of Real Housewives of New York, Sending the Clowns, the season when Tinsley Mortimer was the ringmaster. And I brought alcohol to the cast to drink. So they do encourage alcohol use on the show because they want to loosen these women up so that way they can get something out of them. But they don't necessarily know how far it's going to go because there's, like I said, some people are not strong enough to handle their liquor. So it will be a shame if we don't get to see this season of Ultimate Girls Trip because I like the cast that they have. I love Brandy and I love Caroline Manzo. I've liked her since Jersey, but she ain't coming back to that because with Teresa and all them on there, and that mess of a show. She ain't trying to do Jersey. But I was really looking forward to this season of that season. I was looking forward to RHOA Legacy because I like the Legacy cast. That's gonna be hard for me to sit and watch Ramona. But I've always struggled to watch her. I mean, even though she has been entertaining, over the years she has said some things that's problematic. And so, it is what it is. Bravo, y'all got a problem, child. I don't know what y'all need to do. Maybe y'all just need, I don't know. Reality TV is a mess to begin with, but it is, like I said, it is what it is. I don't know what else to say on this. What do y'all guys think in the comments that should be done regarding the future of the Housewives and Ultimate Girls Trip? I hope that, I would love to see both seasons. I hope the Morocco season comes out and, we just see what happens and we'll be the judge and the jury and the executioner. Now, speaking of Housewives, Kenya Moore got candid on the BravoCon red carpet, say that's in house fast, with Ricky Cornish about the future of RHOA. Now, during Friday's festivities, Andy Cohen revealed that some changes are definitely needed down in Atlanta, and shortly after, Kenya offered her 2 cents on the matter. Now, when asked whether or not she thinks the Real Housewives of Atlanta could use a makeover next season, Kenya co-signed with Andy by saying, "Yeah, we need some changes." Kenya went on to reveal that the cast hasn't heard anything as of yet regarding the future of RHOA and isn't even sure if the show will be coming back. She says, we don't know what the future holds. They haven't told us anything yet. Even if the show is coming back, we don't really know. But I feel like, we still have so much story to tell. I feel like I still have something to give. I feel like the fans want to see it. So I just want to give the people what they want. Now, back in August, LoveYouScott.com exclusively revealed that Bravo was working on a reboot of the RHOA franchise with an all-new cast. Now, look, I do believe that RHOA is coming back. I think that the franchise will probably get a partial makeover. Who knows? We'll probably get Candy, Sheree, Kenya, and maybe Marlo. I mean, quite as I don't know why they got Marlo on there, but I guess, producers love her, so they'll bring her on. Y'all can do Candy, Kenya, Marlo, and Sheree, and bring in some new ladies that actually know how to interlink with these ladies and mingle. Candy, you need to step it up and do what needs to be done regarding your show. I did hear something or another. Oh yeah, I forgot that we have the clip of Kenya, but we'll play it. You know what? Sorry. Instead of I forgot all about the clip. Let's play the clip so y'all can see the interview with what she said, what she had to say with Ricky. Oh, she's frozen. Okay, so look, we could use a partial reboot. It is what it is. I have to say that I did not like the last season. I watched the first 3 episodes and then I bailed. I found the last season of Real Housewives to be boring. And I feel like, Candy, you need to step it up in regards of storylines and give us something. You're not just going to sit up on here and coast. Otherwise, you could be a friend of. I mean, look, quiet as it's kept, all the drama that's coming out recently with the old boy in Atlanta going to all the Atlanta restaurants and y'all being a hot ass mess, not knowing how to have any kind of organization. Y'all don't have menus. You don't do takeout. You don't do Uber Eats. You charging people a percentage just for something that's $5, 30%. And y'all just a whole mess. We don't have none of that shit in New York. Our service, depending on where you go, is impeccable. But you definitely get Uber Eats. You definitely get, all the deliveries and all this. Although I am hearing that if y'all don't tip, y'all gonna have to wait a little longer for y'all food. This is why I don't do deliveries, Uber Eats, all that other stuff, because y'all be out of control with them damn prices. I remember At my job, I would get stuff from Buffalo Wild Wings, and it would run me almost $40 because between the amount of the high price of food and the tip and all the other stuff, y'all try to. I'm like, well, goddamn, y'all freaking greedy with all this money. But yeah, Atlanta, y'all need to get it together when it comes to how y'all services and stuff out there. Because I ain't even know, because I haven't been to Atlanta in a long time, so I don't know how the service is when it comes to the restaurants. And I feel like a lot of y'all just be wanting to run around and say, like, oh, y'all got a restaurant rep, instead of realizing that a lot of work goes into running an establishment like a restaurant. And I did find it funny how y'all threatened this kid because he was giving honest feedback and reviews of y'all restaurants. And that just goes to show that if y'all black owned and if y'all have black owned establishments, y'all gotta learn how to grow a damn thick skin and y'all need to grow a thick skin, and y'all need to be able to take constructive criticism. That's what y'all need to learn, yeah. Because if y'all can't figure that out, if y'all can't grow a thick skin and realize that maybe y'all need to step y'all pussies up when it comes to running an establishment, then what needs to happen is y'all need to just get out of the restaurant business, because clearly y'all don't know what y'all doing and y'all can't handle, people critiquing y'all food. If the shit ain't good, it ain't good. Now let Gordon Ramsay come in there and talk about y'all rice is hard or whatever it is and do like a kitchen nightmare type situation. I want to see if y'all had that same energy. That's all. Okay, so chill. Let's get into it. Because this is one that's going to be a lot. Let's talk about Saucy Santana and DJ Akademiks and the foolishness that's going on with this and them and all that mess. So, DJ Akademiks and Saucy Santana have been embroiled in a pretty heated feud as of late. It all started after Ak made some unsavory comments about the city girls. In particular, he went after Young Miami and accused her of perpetuating homophobia. Eventually, Santana got into the mix and things escalated pretty fast. In fact, Santana even threatened to assault him in his backside, which subsequently led to some heated discourse on social media. Now, child, we do have some clips where DJ Akademiks actually went in and started talking about Carisha and JT, and basically was talking about how the album flopped. It did sell 10,000 copies. It didn't really do well, and I'm hearing the album's not good. I'm not really into the City Girls like that, and he was feeling like their heart wasn't into it. I don't know if we have that clip, but that's what transpired. Wait, so the clips aren't working?
Get canceled to fuck up what we got going on. I'm never trying to get canceled, say the wrong thing. I know what we got going on. I love it. I'm trying not to get canceled, but this shit does bother me.
Let's look at that ass too, like y'all. Oh man.
Yeah, I tried to lighten it
Put it
up.
like,
but,
yo, chat, just put it like this. Bro, with everything we've talked about, bro, I've never cared about, I don't care what rapper got at me, bro, ever. But like, really, there's certain shit I really don't fuck with in my life, and I would never do. But like, I gotta sit here and act like, I know I'm in America, I gotta sit here and just act like I don't fuck with certain shit. I would never like it.
My nigga's so angry right now, he would have cried. That's the type of angry.
And let's really keep it a beam though. The same way you go, stop the gay boy narrative. We can't say nothing to him. All this cancel culture. It's plenty of things to say about me besides being gay. So y'all can stop that one right there. The same way you was with a bitch about album sales, and the same way you with everybody else about how they music sound and statistics, go do the same thing. I'm gonna keep it 100. The last 3 songs I put out did not do well. The last 3 songs I put out did not do well. That plaque's still on the thing though. But the last 3 songs ain't do well. You can go pick on my YouTube numbers. Go pick on my monthly listeners on Spotify. Go pick on my Apple streams. You could clown me as an artist like you do everybody else. Why the fuck is y'all gotta stick up y'all ass like y'all don't know what to say back to me? Besides being gay. Being gay, we at the end of the day, we both got dicks. We 2 men, gay and straight. I beat your I promise you. Amy to ever say to you, because she a girl. You a man. You a nigga. And you doing an interview talking about, oh, I was about to beef with Santana, but I had to bow down because I was gonna lose. So you mean to tell me you could publicly bully a bitch on the internet every day, but you don't want to get into a spat or a combat or a physical altercation with a motherfucking gay boy. But you like to argue with bitch. Stop playing with people. Don't play on the internet. So Carisha got a party on Tuesday in Miami, and pull up. If you don't have to say nothing to her, come and address me. Come and address the that's gonna be in the motherfucking room. Stop playing games on the internet, and then you wondering why you botty boys and punks because you're drama filled and you only fuck with bitch. You only arguing with bitch all day. I don't even do that. I'm a gay boy and I don't even fuck with bitch. But I really like to slap the shit out of since I was a kid. That's what the fuck I do since high school. I fought boys. I never fought bitch a day in my life. I don't even argue with as much as you, and you're supposed to be the straight one. So stop doing all the cap. Pull up. We got posters. Pull up on Tuesday in Miami and say.
Yeah, so Saucy said what he said, and you know what, I 100% back him, because it's like, first of all, as pundits of people like myself who get in this space and we talk about famous people and celebrities and all that other stuff, we have a responsibility to come on here and we need to tell the story as it's told. And you know what, I did agree with some of the stuff Akademiks said. I do feel like City Girls' heart is not in the music. I feel like it's played secondary. Carisha is running around, with Diddy, who I have yet to hear him come out and defend her. That's supposed to be his girl, right? Why haven't you come out and defended her against Akademiks? And Akademiks said Diddy can't say ish to him, so if he can't say nothing to you, then Diddy should be able to say what he gonna say and, put it out there. Like, you should be out here defending your girl. But, his silence speaks volumes on that part. But then, why is it that the gay boy had to come out and defend the girl? And you know what? Shout out to him, because it's like, you know what? A lot of times, the gay men will come to defend their girl when they need to. Although some of you black women, and this is a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day, y'all don't hesitate to call us all kinds of F words and cocksuckers and stuff too, whenever we get on your bad side. We supposed to be your friends and your allies. So, some of y'all move funny like that too. And my thing is, he started calling Santana Bati Boy and Sea Sucker and all these other things. So you thinking this boy not gonna come and clap back at you? And the difference between somebody like a Saucy Santana versus anybody else, Saucy is from the hood. So he don't play them games where it's just like you just gonna say something to him and then he just gonna let it slide. Because I don't understand, like, I do agree that he is the type that likes to go harder on women. He goes after everybody. Akademiks goes after everybody, but to me it always seems like he goes harder on women. Is it because you're not attractive, you're fat, so you can't get no pussy? And quiet as a scout, when you look at someone like a Saucy, he look like Akademiks, he look like his breath stink and he don't wipe his ass properly. Like, he gives me skid marks in the drawers. And not just skid marks, like they be full on crustation from shit that be in your ass from the dingleberries that be caught up in your drawers as well. Like, he give me like his butt stink and he got gingivitis in his fucking teeth. That's what this boy gives me. So I don't know how you gonna be up here and then had the nerve to talk about Saucy got a BBL. I'm like, but bitch, you fat too. You shaped like a whole butterball. Like, they giving out turkeys in this month for Thanksgiving. You shaped like one. How you shaped like a whole disfigured baked potato? And you got the nerve to read somebody on their body. And shout out to Saucy for even giving him pointers on how to read him. He was like, it's easy for you, and it is easy for a lot of you breeders, and I'm talking about you fucking men who, I don't know, like somebody said on social media, and I love this. They said the worst thing that happened since the pandemic is that they gave ninjas the ability to have a microphone. So it's like every moron out here got a damn podcast, and y'all saying a bunch of stupidity. And that's what it seemed like, that you got these Akademiks or these other morons out here with podcasts, and they just seeing like, who could say the dumbest thing out of their mouth and go viral? And that's another thing that irritates me, and that's typical, like, when I look at somebody like Akademiks who doesn't have the range to handle what is being thrown at him. Because if the only thing that you have to go on is the obvious in front of you that you want to say something about a gay boy, that ain't stopped you before. Because he worried about being canceled from who? Because black media ain't going to cancel you. They be the main ones perpetuating them racist them homophobic stereotypes, the neighborhood talk and the shade room and stuff. They be the main ones that go in and let have on the gay community. So who gonna cancel you? Jason Lee? Because he just did an interview with this dude a couple of weeks ago. And shout out to Jason Lee for calling him out, though. He did say that on his show when he broke it down and he talked about him as well. So you got to be fit. So I like the fact that when people is like, you know what? If you said you like me for what I say or whatever, and when you in the wrong, I got to come out and say stuff. And that's a responsibility on us, too. When you come out and you say some things, it's wrong. And what I want to know is, what did Carisha do to you that made you go so hard on her and call her all types of whores and she a side chick for this one, that, and third, and she getting her back blown out with so many different people. Like, he was going and saying all kinds of real nasty misogynistic stuff about this girl that he don't even know. And 9 times out of 10, like, if you watch that interview with him and Jason Lee, we already knew this for years. You don't never see Akademiks go nowhere. He don't never be outside. He told all this stuff about celebrities, but don't never be seen in the same room with them. And I feel like there's a way that you can go about speaking about what goes on with celebrities without having to be nasty and having to make it personal. And that's what he did. He made it personal, and it didn't even need to go there with him. We're having to make it personal. It got to the point that that saucy man Zell Swag had to jump in the chat and threaten to smack the dog ish out of him, which he wrote in a post on one of the blogs. He wrote it on there. And then you had to go get whack ass 100, who decided to jump in and talk about he want to call somebody up who's bisexual or whatever to fight Saucy. But I'm like, Saucy ain't trying to fight this other person. I want to fight you. I want to meet you outside. I want you to pull up where I'm at, because you're not going to have me pull up to your headquarters, as he says. You're not going to have me pull up at your headquarters so that when you get to control the scene, and all of a sudden we come in a fight and then you call 911 and got the cops there to arrest me. It's like, no, we're going to pull up at a mutual place and I'm going to beat your ass. So it's funny how you can say all this stuff about Carisha and you can say all this stuff about other women, but then you can't handle somebody coming at you and threatening to take your booty, which I know he not going to do. First of all, you got to be all kinds of desperate want to stick your dick anywhere near Akademiks' body parts. Because I can smell that shit through my damn screen. So ain't nobody trying to hook up with his old nasally, probably need one of the machines to keep himself from snoring at night, because he gives me like he breathes heavy. I mean, we hear how heavy he be breathing when he on camera. So he's trash. And then sit there talking about Jamaicans and Bati man, and you can't come to Jamaica and say all other stuff, but in America it's different. Like, I gotta go by whatever's here, and he's gonna get canceled and all this other mess. So all the stuff you said before, you wasn't worried about being canceled, but coming against a gay boy, that's the line that you don't want to cross. But you can call him all kinds of names. So he threatens to take your booty, your little dingy, dirty ass butt, and then all of a sudden you want to burst into tears. Get on my line with them Karen ass tears. Now Queen Latifah into the chat, and you know Queen Latifah stay minding her damn business. She don't never assert herself in nothing. But then with this shit, the queen had to come off her throne and let that old wide back bastard have it, and said the following. It's crazy to me how DJ Akademiks is crying scared to say anything to Saucy Santana because he's a gay man and he's scared of getting canceled, but has said some of the most outlandish, vile, disrespectful, and demeaning things to black women with absolutely no fear whatsoever. Brings me back to Malcolm X's quote, "The most disrespected, unprotected, and neglected person in America is the black woman." And actually it was originally posted by My Son, My Son New York General? And she reposted it on her Instagram on her stories. And then Young Miami also added her 2 cents in the comment section of the Neighborhood Talk repost of what appeared to be Akademiks crying. She wrote, "I was in tears when he laughed and was trolling about my car getting shot up while I was 6 months pregnant." So you can go around and laugh at the expense of someone else where they might possibly get murdered. You thinking that shit's cute. But then somebody threatens to violate your booty hole and That's when you start bursting into tears. And they had to bring Whack 100 on, who's threatening to shoot or kill or do any, basically assault Saucy. I think Zell too. And then Saucy jumped in the chat and went after the both of them. But quiet as it's kept, I'm wondering why is it that someone like this guy, Whack 100, all of a sudden you got somebody who's LGBT on speed dial that you want to fight Saucy Santana. I'm giving you the side eye. And some of you straight men, a lot of y'all are punks, P-O-N-K-S. Y'all are way hard, y'all are more or less the punks than the gays. So the gays, when we grew up in the hood, like myself, I'll speak for me. I grew up in Brownsville, Brooklyn. All my life I had to fight, in the words of Sophia. I'd knuck if you buck, bitch. It's like I had to learn how to protect myself from people calling me all sorts of gay slurs and this, that, and other. And I was fighting. I won some fights and I lost some fights. I ain't afraid to admit it. But what you're not going to do is punk me and make it feel like, oh, because y'all thinking this stereotype that just because a lot of us are gay, that we can't fight. Which is not the truth at all. So I'm sure this thing is going to stretch out and go on and on and on and on and on. And we'll be talking about this. I'm sure more is going to come out from it. I personally think that we just need to move on. I'm over this drama or whatever. I'm like, at what point, where do we go from here? Where does it end? Is somebody going to end up in a casket? Is somebody going to end up in, getting shot? I mean, Saucy's been shot before. And we don't need this to really get to a point where somebody ends up 6 feet under. So I hope it don't get to that point. But Akademiks, you're trash. And Saucy, keep doing what you're doing with your music. And hopefully you get your music up. Because you definitely need to. Because you, like you said, your last 3 songs ain't really hit. So I don't know. You got to figure out something. All right, so guys, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Khloe Kardashian being called out for blackfishing with the Bratz doll Halloween costume. Speaking of Halloween, we're going to talk about Tina Knowles and make, she's clarifying comments that she made about Beyonce being mean backstage. Will Smith is considering reviving his music career. Lil Nas X, we're on a Halloween roll. He's come under fire for wearing a bloody tampon costume for Halloween. Dolly Parton has a love for the gays. Kim Petras is here for the gays having sex on her shows. We're going to talk about the death of a 90s gay adult film star. And we got some tea regarding the upcoming casting for season 17 of Drag Race. I know we even get season 16 already, trying to audition for season 17. So, yeah, we're going to take a little break and we'll be right back with more of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Give my opinion and carry any. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Give my opinion and carry any. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Yeah, so playing devil's advocate for the people that are probably going to try to run up in here and say some mess. Why now?
I was scared of losing my job. It wasn't just myself, it was myself, my brother, my friends. I had all gotten jobs on the show, and I thought if I came out about it, that they would probably figure out a way to get rid of us all.
And should the lawsuit basically go in your favor, what are you hoping to gain from, everything?
The criminal investigation, I hope it comes to fruition. I filed that report back in November and still haven't heard anything back from the Ruston Police Department in regards to anything being turned up or anything happening with that. Hopefully it does. That's ultimately what I hope happens, because I think when somebody does this to somebody, they deserve to be punished in a criminal way.
My opinion and carry Annie. Oh, it's Chris Elliman Unfiltered, bitch. My opinion and carry Annie. Oh, it's Chris Elliman Unfiltered, bitch.
In Japanese, here's how to say please sit on my face in Japanese. 顔に座ってください。お願い。
Yeah.
お願い。
Yeah,
If you
I
don't
mean,
keep your word, you create negative
yeah,
space.
because Jesus whispers in my ear the things he wants me to say, and I say it out loud.
Like Joan of Arc.
Like nigger.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
everything. You can just say, Jesus made me say it, and Jesus made me do it.
Yeah, because he did. And what WD-40? No, not WD-40. That's why I use on my wheelchair. WWJD. What would Jesus do?
Do you have T-shirts to say that?
I do.
I think you should have them, and with your picture on them.
You know what? I
think they'd be a big seller.
WWTJD. What would Terry Joe do?
Who's Terry Joe?
Huh?
Who's Terry Joe?
Or you about to say, who's Terry Joe?
Oh, should I not know? Should I know? Who's Terry Joe? Oh, you're Terry Joe. Oh my God.
You're literally speaking to her.
I'm sorry. I just know your stage name.
If I was 80 years old too, I would be forgetting people's names too.
Well, then you understand.
Yeah, that just makes.
I wish you all the best. I really do.
Oh,
Okay,
look at those shorts.
Thank you so much. Look at that hat. Look at that face, dude.
Come on, body. It's giving box.
I try, man. I try.
It's giving
I try.
box.
You want to see box? Look in the mirror, buddy. That's the only busted box I see. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the busted box of all?
Pull up your shirt, bitch. Pull up your shirt,
Good luck with
bitch.
everything, buddy.
Everything is given. The body, the face, the ass.
Well,
Bitch,
there's a
you
receipt,
box.
buddy. The only thing giving a
box.
receipt.
Hashtag this gay. If not, then why you feel some type of way about people trying to go about their day? I just think it's kind of strange. Why you obsessed with other men and where they put their meat? That's a lot of dicks on the brain. If you were as disgusted by the notion as you sound, why you putting food you don't like on your plate? Ain't it make more sense to use some of your sense to ask yourself why this topic causing me pain? And I don't want to hear about God, cause ain't he make them? Ain't he say to love your neighbor and you hate them? Y'all took one line of 66 books and said, yeah, this it. But spent your whole life trying to debate them. See, I don't really get it. They ain't trying to touch on you, right? Only reason they in the streets is cause of you, right? They ain't have to scream if the volume wasn't already up. But seeing rainbows really hurts you, right? Protect your kids, make them just like you, Mad at anything that they don't understand, cool.
Meanie back on the show. A lot of people would say you guys are the show. You guys are brought so much funniness to it.
Well, I would just say check the ratings.
Yo, does size matter?
Yeah, I can't take a lot, man.
What?
What?
Can I see you deep throat this?
It's RuPaul.
Goodbye.
Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey, welcome back to episode 15 of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Okay, everybody, let's get right into these topics. So another day, another Kardashian, blackfishing, black features, black men, and pushing out black babies until it's time to be really black. Because some photos that was posted on Instagram this past Tuesday, the Kardashian star, as in Khloe, posed in a yellow pattern mini dress with long sleeve white shirt underneath. She also donned a matching yellow beret over ultra-long platinum blonde hair while carrying a handbag featuring the Bratz logo written in crystals. However, it wasn't the good American co-founder's outfit that caught the attention of her followers. Users swiftly took to the comment section to call out Kardashian for her skin tone, which one person said was 10 times darker than usual. Another claimed that the reality star wants to be black so bad, while a third wondered, why is she 3 shades darker than usual? Others named Kardashian, 39, for blackfishing, a term used to describe white public figures, celebrities, or influencers, I think just anybody in general, who ain't black. But it just seems like the people who get more of the smoke for blackfishing are public figures, celebrities, and influencers. But basically it said that they're people who use makeup, excessive tanning, or other means to appear black or mixed race. Blackfishing, period. One fan said, the mom of two, blackfishing hoe. Oh, they spell it like I do it, because I spell hoe fancy, like H-E-A-U-X. That's the fancy version of saying hoe. That's an upper echelon hoe. That's the one that take more than $200 hoe. A second, per session. That's like 500 up, black card hoe. A second person added, girl, who the hell is this? You're not even recognizable. Rest of Kardashian not immediately respond to page 6 request for comment. Now, here's the thing. She wasn't the only one that was dressed up as a brat doll, and the tan had a tan. It was Kim Kardashian and her friends Olivia Pearson and Natalie Halcro. So they all was looking the way that Khloe was looking. However, Khloe got most of the smoke. And I think the reason why Khloe has gotten more smoke than all the other girls is because Khloe has had so much work done on her face and her body that they don't even know who the hell that is. They don't even look like Khloe. They look like a whole nother person. First of all, don't Khloe got black up in her? Ain't OJ allegedly her daddy? So if she decided to spray tan and go a couple of shades darker, I don't see like that's a big deal. Now, here's the thing. Okay, all jokes aside, I don't feel like Khloe was really blackfishing. I feel like everything, in my opinion, ain't really blackfishing. I mean, I could be wrong, but I just didn't get blackfish from this. I just get like, okay, she did a spray tan, they do the over-exaggeration of the... Like, to me, blackfishing is what you would see in the old minstrel shows, the old Step and Fetches, where people would literally paint their face black and do like the red lip. And that's what, like, to me, that's blackfishing. Or maybe what it is that people are saying that that's a little too literal, that they've decided to figure out a way to bring, or blackface, that this is bringing more or less, this being that we're in a new generation, new time, they can't really do blackfishing like they did back in the day, or blackface back like they did back in the day. So now they've found a newer way to get around it. Now, I do agree that there's a lot of times that we do have a lot of people who are basically into assimilation or featureism. And I do notice that a lot of white girls do go out and they get surgery and injections and all this other stuff to embody black features for black men to be all up on. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. However, I do feel like, and there have been many a times that the Kardashians have been notorious for, oh, y'all sleep with black men, y'all want to have mixed babies, and all these different things. But when it's time to really deal with issues that plague the black community, silence, crickets. We don't hear nothing. So, I don't know. I'm a twerk on the fence regarding this story. But, she ain't the only one that's been accused of black. I mean, Kim's gone through it. They made accusations against her. Kylie Jenner, they basically went in on her because, she released some limited edition Bratz doll collection back in August. I know some people say, well, not all the Bratz dolls and stuff are black. I get that, but I feel like, weren't the whole Bratz doll situation, weren't they created because there was a lack of representation with like Barbie and stuff? And I know we have black Barbie dolls and some of stuff, but weren't they created as a necessity because they didn't really get that representation? So you got these girls, and mostly you will see ethnic women with exaggerated features. Well, we have, not exaggerated features, because I hate using that phrase because it makes it feel like that's not natural. But it's like when you have like a curvy body, and you have a big booty, and you have voluptuous boobs, and you have full lips, and you have, big wide eyes like an anime character. So, which I know the Asian culture love that too, because there's a lot of people in our community that have those things, and they incorporate all that in their anime figures when they draw them and design them. So I don't know. I guess y'all just gonna have to drop down in the comments and say, do y'all think that what Chloe is doing is blackfishing? Like, I'm not putting it past her. Like, they've been accused of doing something in the past and it's been warranted. But I just feel like for this situation, I don't know, I'm not getting that. Okay, let's move on and let's talk about Miss Tina Knowles, who recently appeared on an episode of Sherry Shepherd. Now, I did watch the episode. I don't normally watch Sherry Shepherd, but the Halloween episode was pretty good. I didn't really watch a lot of other Halloween shows, but I did watch Sherry's, and it was because, one, she had Kevin Aviance on there, who is a legend and an icon within the gay music community, like especially in the dance music community. Like, I grew up going to the clubs and, you know, listening to Kevin's music and hearing, you know, Rhythm Is My Bitch, Dindada, Cunty, especially when that song came on, the girls got on the floor and pumped and pop, dipped, and spin. It was a full-on Vogue session whenever Cunty came on. So that's an iconic song. And, you know, Beyonce uses it in the Renaissance album and on the tour, and, you know, basically gave love and somebody she loves him and really paid homage to him and all other stuff. So he felt seen, and he's been getting a lot of attention, which rightfully so, that he's finally being seen, because Kevin is a known figure and well known within our community and has been praised for years. He's been through a lot, you know, from the bashing that happened to him back in the 2000s. I think it was like, what, 2004, like around that time, where he was gay bashed. I believe he was on his way home and that whole situation that happened. And he's always given us amazing music. You know, he gave us that album Box of Chocolates, which I remember to this day. I went and bought that album from the Virgin Megastore on 14th Street in Union Square. I miss that damn place. Now it's a freaking Citibank and Best Buy and a whole bunch of other stuff. That whole block, that whole block was Virgin Megastore, I believe. Yeah, I think they own that. They had that whole section. It was huge. And I used to love going there. I used to live in that one. I used to live in the one on 42nd Street. I stayed, you know, spending the majority of my check in them places, buying CDs and going to the booth and listening to the music, so that way I know if the album was good or not. And then I would go to the import section because certain albums I wanted to buy wasn't available, so I would do all of that. And Kevin Aviance was one of the albums that I was like, I bought from the Virgin Megastore. And I remember going up to the register and I struck a conversation with the cashier because he was talking about him and stuff as well. So Kevin has always had that real big impact within our community, and I was so grateful and happy to Sherry Shepherd for giving him his flowers. Because, like I said, if he was on Andy Cohen, Andy would have just, I think he was on Andy Cohen's show, stick his ass behind the bar. Like, he's not good enough to sit in the chair next to them old clucking heifers from, you know, the Housewives. You want to talk to them boring broads, but you take an icon and a legend like Kevin and put him behind the bar? Girl, please. But anyway, so I was glad that Sherry gave him his flowers. And another person that appeared on the show was Tina Knowles. So what's going on with Tina? She felt the need to clarify a statement she made on the show when she revealed that Beyonce can be mean. Which, in my opinion, I totally got what she said. I didn't feel like she needed to explain what she meant, but here we are. So now, after reactions and clips from the segment hit the internet, the 69-year-old took to Instagram to clarify she older than my parents. Let me keep moving. You know, I'm going to get into trouble when she sees this. So I would just clarify that she is not the only one fussing. We all are, Knowles wrote, but it's all love after she hits that stage and looks fabulous. But quick change is not a place for people with sensitive temperaments. You have to be gangster. The former designer continued, don't misunderstand. Let me clarify. She would not be crying because she got on our case because we were screwing up. I was joking that when she was singing Flaws and All, that when she would cry on the song, my joke was that it was because she had been mean to us, but that was just a joke, people. She don't play when it comes to her show. She's a perfectionist because she feels like she and her fans deserve the best. You have to have your stuff together to work with her. She is a boss at all times and will not hesitate to get in your stuff if you mess up. And that's basically what I understood, you know, what she said, because, you know, in the original thing she said, we laughed because she used to do Flaws and All. She would say, I'm a bitch in the morning, and I'd be like, and in the evening too. And then she said that she would say, Mama, I'm sorry. And I'm like, I know. And sometimes she'd be crying. I was like, she crying because she knows what she said, some crazy stuff to us. And here's the thing. So now I got to defend my damn Virgos because, you know, shout out to Beyonce. I'm 2 days before her. September 2nd. She's September 4th. When it comes to us and our business and work and what we do, and especially when it's passion that's behind what we do, we are anal. Perfectionist to a fault. We don't mean nothing by it, but when it's go time, when it's work time, I expect everybody to be on their A game. Y'all got to be on the same level as us. Sometimes we push a little too far, and we get mad when people don't meet us at the level that we're at, and that's something we should probably work on. But when it comes to us being the perfections that we are, it's very difficult. So you just got to bear with us, because sometimes I'll be going off too. I don't mean anything by it. And it's hard for me sometimes to really voice my opinion on stuff, but I've had to come to the point, it's like, look, closed mouths don't get fed, and sometimes shit needs to be said, and if you say it, then the people who you work with and stuff know next time that this is what you need and how we get things better, because at the end of the day, when it comes to Beyonce, her name is what's on the marquee. She is the one who everybody's going to be looking at, you know, if stuff gets messed up. And you can't get mad. They don't know that they're not going to be blaming the people behind the scenes. They're not going to be blaming, you know, all these other people. They're going to be looking at Beyonce. They're going to be throwing shade at Beyonce. They're going to be like, oh, well, that show was a mess. That this was this and this was that. And it's her fault. And this was all the issues. Like, it's technically not probably her fault. It's all the technical stuff that's going on behind the scenes. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, her name was on the marquee. So y'all going to automatically blame her and come at her because she is who you see. You don't know that it could be the person backstage who missed a technical cue, or the fact that I'm doing a quick change and everything is precise down to the T regarding the music, the visuals, all of that stuff. And what is going to happen is that, okay, so now I know after this song, I got to run to the back and I have only this amount of time before I got to get back on stage. Now I go back there, the buckle done broke on my shoe. One of my shoes is missing. Where the hell's the shoe? Why is it not with the stuff? All the clothes is lined out in a certain way that I know this is what we got to put on, and you only got a certain amount of time. So everybody has to be on their A game. So I understand why it's like, okay, I'm backstage. I'm in the heat of the moment. I'm cussing everybody out. I don't mean nothing by it. I'm sorry, but here's the thing. If you ain't got a thick skin, then bitch, you need to get out the situation, because y'all going to have a thick skin working in this business. I've been saying this shit so many times. It's kind of like when they be going in on Lizzo. Oh, well, I don't know. Lizzo is a whole nother story. Maybe she's not a good example. But then people be like, oh, well, they cussing. It's like, first of all, Gen Z, if y'all can't handle Beyonce, somebody cussing at you, y'all not ready for this business. Because it's like, you really have to have a thick skin. There have been many times I worked in situations, I've been screamed at and all this other stuff, and I suck it up and deal with it. Because it's like, I'm working with these people and I'm making sure that everything needs to be worked to the best of the ability, because you want them to have a great show. And this is just how it is with the business. I'm not saying it's right, but when people are in the heat of the moment, I don't got time to be calling you and babying you and singing kumbaya to you and rocking you to make sure that all your shit is together. Your job is to make sure all this stuff is together, because I have so many things that I need to be worrying about when I'm doing a 2+ hour show. And I only got a certain amount of time to, you know, when something could go wrong. So I totally got where you was coming from, Tina. You didn't really need to explain yourself. I feel like if you need to explain a joke, then it ain't funny to begin with. But you really didn't have to explain yourself to these people. And it's like people going to try to take whatever narrative they can. And I probably felt, you know, regardless of what it is, and I feel like she probably felt the need to over-explain, because Beyonce prides herself on being so private when it comes to everything she does, be it her career, be it her personal life or whatever, and didn't want, you know, this, but she didn't want a certain persona of her to get out there. But girl, you human. It is what it is. Why are you worried so much about what other people think? The Beehive understood, and us regular people who understand how business works understood too. So shout out to you, Beyonce. Shout out to you, Tina. And I'm looking forward to seeing this Beyonce Renaissance thing when it comes out. I don't know if I'm going to the movies next month to see it, But I definitely want to see this renaissance. I don't know, because I just want to, if I want to see something, I want to be able to hear everything, and I want to be able to like take it all in. I hate if I go to a theater and people gonna be up in there making noise. It's like y'all done fucked up the mute challenge and all other stuff. I want to be able to, when she was on tour, people getting into fights and stuff. I want to be able to take it all in. The concert, I want to see, hear all the other stuff, the behind the scenes, documentary stuff. So I feel like I'm gonna just wait until it comes out on a streaming service or whatever, so that way I can just take the moment, take it all in, and in parts I have a hard time hearing or whatever because I may have missed something, I can rewind it back. So that's what I want to do. So shout out to you, Kevin. Shout out to you, Beyonce. And shout out to you, Miss Tina. All right, now speaking of music, rumors are swirling that Will Smith is considering reviving his music career after being blackballed from Hollywood for slapping Chris Rock back at the Oscars. Now, this is coming from Radar Online, by the way. Now, with his big screen career in a tailspin, Will Smith is planning on to get his mojo back by returning to rap. This is what Radar Online has learned. Now, an insider revealed the Academy Award-winning actor is allegedly looking to revive his rap career since he struggled to find work after he infamously slapped Chris Rock at the 2022 Oscars. TV's 55-year-old former Fresh Prince announced he's launching a new podcast called Class of '88. The podcast tracks back to the groundbreaking artists of that period, including Queen Latifah, Run DMC, and of course his old partner DJ Jazzy Jeff. Now I did see some clips of that online. I did see the one where he posted Latifah, and I also saw when he sat down with Salt and Pepper, and it was somehow he was going to take, I guess, Pepper out on a date and that sort of. So I did see those clips floating around online. The duo, was rap chart toppers from 1988 to 94. When Smith's TV career took off, they shelved their act. But his movie career peaked and crashed on the same day when he won the Oscar for Best Actor but lost everything else by slapping Rock. Widely blackballed in Hollywood since then, Smith reportedly wants to get back into music, and his podcast is his first step. Saying, heck, in the rap world, slapping a guy across the face for dissing his wife isn't seen as a crime. It's a badge of honor, an insider told the National Enquirer. No one holds it against him, and it makes Will feel that it is where he can make his comeback. Still, a friend believes Smith may have to toughen up his game. DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince were decidedly PG-rated act, with Smith once rapping, he never writes verses with curses. So, but people are saying, he's changed since then. He is not, the squeaky clean, cookie cutter guy that he came up as in the music industry. That he has gotten a lot harder. But I'm like, are people willing to buy that side of Will? On top of that, do people care what Will Smith has to say in regards to music? And then also at 55, I don't want to come across as, ageist or anything, but does he have anything to contribute, and do music lovers have any interest in what he has to say, and who is your demographic? I understand maybe I could see him possibly doing what LL Cool J did, where LL Cool J went on tour this summer. He brought out a lot of people in the hip-hop game to join him on tour, and it was it felt like a big festival. So I can understand the old school heads and the younger generation who love old school hip hop, and then the women who love the ladies who love Cool James, and all those people were there to support and see all the other artists. That's the only way I could see Will Smith coming out and getting jiggy with it with people on stage and stuff. I can't see people wanting to listen to a Will Smith album unless he is willing to release the rap version of Lemonade and come out with an album and give us that. But to me personally, and the funny thing is, I posted this article on my social media, and people was busy saying that he's too squeaky clean, that they don't see it for him trying to release new music. And plus, he has other movies that's in the works. He's supposed to be doing a fourth Bad Boys movie. He's supposed to be doing a sequel to I Am Legend with Bakari, as in Michael B. Jordan. Sidebar, shout out to the girl on, oh my God, Selling Sunset, who revealed she had sex with Michael B. Jordan. I'm like, girl, you's a mess. That's of the new season. If y'all haven't seen that, you can binge that on Netflix. But yeah, so he's got a couple of movies down the pike. I don't believe he's necessarily blackballed. I believe that Hollywood is trying to like tiptoe around the situation because they're trying to let all this drama die down before they start releasing stuff. But I do not feel like I do not feel like Will Smith is blackballed. I personally don't see it for him with the music. I'm not interested in any new music of his. Like if he wants to come out and get a little nostalgic by performing his old hits and going out on tour and kind of getting his feet wet in that way, and then do the podcast. Like I like the idea for the podcast because it's more or less focused on like nostalgia, collaborating and talking with people that he came up with in the music business and reminiscing about those times of when they was coming up in the 80s and that sort of thing. So I like the idea of shedding light on the people like Salt and Pepper and Queen Latifah and getting those stories. I like that idea, and I feel like that's where he's really good at. No red table talk type stuff. Your wife's already been pretty much beaten over the head with a hammer with that stuff. So I like the direction where he's going with that. So I'm kind of playing that wheelhouse. I don't necessarily know if people care enough for some music, but if that's what he's going to do and that's what he plans on releasing, we'll see if the people care once he releases it. So good luck to you, Will, because you're going to need it, Annie. All right, so let's get into Lil Nas X, who is defending the right to wear his bloody tampon costume, which has left some fans feeling divided. Lil Nas X has reacted to criticism over his Halloween costume. The industry baby rhymer took to his Twitter account, now called X, to clap back at naysayers after he dresses a bloody tampon for Halloween. The Grammy-winning rapper didn't seem to be bothered by the backlash as he wrote on Wednesday, October 31st, "I've been silent for nearly 2 years. Y'all are not finna pretend to be mad about a tampon costume." The 24-year-old star continued, "Let me at least get my new music out first." Well, maybe you should have released the new music before you decided to come dressed as a bloody tampon for some damn attention. Because quiet as it's kept, Lil Nas X's antics tend to overshadow his music. And I guess that's where we're at in this industry that's where we're at now in society, that the antics outweigh the music, is that the music just ain't giving me what needs to be given. And I didn't really particularly care for that Montero record. There was a couple of songs that I was like, oh, it's cute or whatever, but it's not memorable. Like, it's not an album I'll be listening to 5 years from now. Heck, it's not even going to be an album I'm going to listen to a year from now. But I do like the idea of a Lil Nas X, and, you know, I do love the fact that he trolls people online and comes and he can read the house down, which is a gift that I meant to mention when we were talking about Saucy Santana earlier. We developed the art of reading. Like, that's like a birthright. It's literally you get it's passed down from generation to generation. Like each generation of Slayer is born, like the thing they said with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Each generation, you know, the gays learn how to read the girls down, and we learned it because I hung out with a lot of the elder gay people who teach you how to read. And the older gay black men and the drag queens and the trans women that I hung out with growing up as a wee little gay trying to find my way in the world, I learned the art of reading. And yes, it is a skill that must be taught, and you know, perfect your craft. So yeah, I did think, in my opinion, I do feel like this outfit was in poor taste. I was like, Nas, you could do better than that. But I did cackle. I'm not going to lie. I did think it was pretty funny when he did this. He burst out of a vagina and then, you know, was pumping down the street in the white pumps and in the wig and doing and wearing a bloody tampon costume. Look, there's a lot of people out here who's doing distasteful ass costumes. Speaking of which, I remember seeing the one where the lady was dressed up as a Israeli soldier. She was in poor taste. I think she was a drag queen. In poor taste, dressed up for how, or it might have been a woman. I don't know. All I remember is I saw it on Cornbread's page that there was a woman dressed up as a Israeli soldier and had a dead baby as the purse. And was trying to enter the contest. And Cornbread was like, oh no, bitch. First of all, you're not getting, I think she kicked her out of the establishment because it was tacky. And the lady got dragged on, and the person got dragged on social media for the costume. I'm like, are y'all serious? Like, I've been seeing a lot of that on social media where people have been posting inappropriate things where they've been mocking people in Gaza being killed. And to me, that's just tacky. But yeah, this costume is in poor taste. Nas, you can do better. I know people take offense to periods, and periods is not a joking matter. And I'm not going to sit up in here and not have empathy for women. If women feel that it's an offensive thing to wear, I mean, to me, I have I have no shame when it comes to my sense of humor is a bit messy and tacky and unfiltered, and I have a pretty crazy sense of humor when it comes to things. You know, I like stuff that's in poor taste, as was brought up when I did Raquel Red's RKN live show. And she brought up like a lot of the memes and stuff that I post on my page, which I know a lot of people will say borderline or inappropriate. So I do like, you know, I have a twisted sense of humor when it comes to things. But if the ladies said they're offended by the thing, then yeah, it's fine. But here's the thing. We also have bigger fish to fry. There's crazier things going on in the world for y'all to be upset about a rapper dressed up as a damn bloody tampon. So good luck to you, Nas, and focus on somebody said they should cancel him. I'm like, really? Because you feel disrespected and you feel it, and you're saying that he needs to be canceled because you don't agree with, like, stop messing with that cancellation bullshit. Y'all try to cancel people over the dumbest things. So Nas, do better. Just work on that music and give people the bops that we need, because like I said, the antics seem to be outweighing the music. Now, speaking of music, because since we're on the music roll, let's talk about my girl and gays. Let's talk about Dolly Parton. So, country music icon Dolly Parton is weighing in on the anti-transgender legislation passed in Tennessee earlier this year. Now, in a new interview with The Hollywood Reporter, the 925 superstar said she wants everybody to be treated good in respect to transgender rights and the LGBTQ plus community at large, saying, and I quote, "I try not to get into the politics of everything. I try to get into the human element of it," Parton 77 said. "I have some of everybody in my own immediate family and in my circle of employees." She added, "I've got transgender people, I've got gays, I've got lesbians, I've got drunks, I've got drug addicts, all within my own family. I know and love them all, and I do not judge." Parton also said that she sees how brokenhearted they get over certain things within the LGBTQ plus community and understands how real they are, saying, "I know how important it is to them. That's who they are," she continued. "They cannot help that any more than I can help being Dolly Parton, you know, that way, the way people know me." The Jolene singer concluded, "If there's something to be judged, that is God's business, but we are all God's children, and how we are is who we are." And I agree with her, but you know, she told about the whole Tennessee situation where, you know, they passed a bill that attempts to discriminate against the LGBTQ plus community by labeling sex as a person's immutable biological sex as determined by anatomy and genetics existing at a time of birth and evidence of a person's biological sex. Later that month, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee also signed a ban on transgender athletes into law. This is only a few examples of the record-breaking anti-trans legislation introduced across the country this year. So she, you know, Dolly, there's nothing wrong with steering away from politics. There's people that just want to make their music. I'm like, you know what? I love everybody. We're all humans at the end of the day. You know, we all bleed the same. Let's not judge one another because, you know, we're all going through the struggle. But one of the things I do love is that Dolly has always been vocal about her support for our community, the LGBTQ community. In 2016, she opened up to Pride Source about helping some of her loved ones in the coming out process, saying, "Actually, I've had many people through the years who I have helped to feel good about themselves. I say, you need to let people know who you are. You need to come on out. You don't need to live your life in darkness. What's the point of that? You're never going to be happy. You're going to be sick." And she is also aware of her huge gay lesbian following, and she said she's proud of them. "I love them, and I think everybody should be themselves and be allowed to be themselves, whoever they are, wherever they are." Parton also said that the LGBT people in her life shaped her perspective, saying, "I certainly know that the gay people I know are the most sensitive and most caring of all. I think they go through so much that they have to live with their feelings on their sleeve." And You know, she said they had to go through so much that I think they're very emotional and tenderhearted and more open to feelings. So I've just learned the same things. I try to learn from everybody. I know they're good people and I try to learn from them as well. Most of the gays I know just want to make the world a beautiful place like I do. And so that's why a lot of people resonate with someone like a Dolly Parton because, you know, she does spread a lot of love in her music and she is someone who has empathy for her fellow man and woman. And I wish that we could live in a perfect world where people didn't judge and we let, you know, live and let people live as they are and not judge people for how they live their life. You know, we didn't choose to be LGBTQ, you know, or question our sexuality. We didn't choose this way of living. People just are who they are. We love who we love. And you don't have to like it. I don't even think you need to approve of it or whatever, but it's like, just mind your business. I don't even need your respect. Like, I give a damn whether or not you respect who I am or what I'm about, because I don't know you personally. And the only people that I feel like who matter to me are my close friends and my family. But, you know, blood doesn't always make you family either, because there's so many LGBTQ people that get kicked out of their home for being themselves, and their families disown them, or they end up homeless, and so many different things. So one of the good things I love about my community is that we create our own family when your real family turns their back on you. So it's good to have someone who is a country legend, who's someone who is from Tennessee where they're passing all these crazy laws, who is like, I see you, I love you, and I don't judge. I respect everybody who's, you know, a part of the community, and that's that. And you don't have to like it. It just is what it is. And you know, you can't destroy the inevitable. Queer people exist in this world, and that's just the way it is. So you can either deal with it or dig yourself a ditch and bury yourself in it. I don't know. So shout out to you, Miss Dolly. And you know, I know she's got a new album out. She promoted it recently on The View. I think it's like a rock album. And you know, she's got all that going on and stuff. So shout out to Miss Dolly Parton. Now, speaking of LGBT and other musicians, let's talk about Kim Petras, who is currently trekking across America with her Feed the Beast tour, and now she's opening up about her queer fans hunching at her concerts. Now, the new interview with Interview, the musician opened up about how much she loves touring and feels like fans get the best version of herself when she's performing in front of an audience. She reveals she loves the insane vibe of the crowd and feels like her music is better when she has that warehouse vibe where people can stand and dance in what feels more like a party than a stadium. She also says she's fully aware that at the vibe of her shows, she definitely helped her queer fans get laid, saying there's definitely gay sex happening, which is lit. In the crowd, that's the goal. I mean, look, when she's saying hit it from the back, I don't think she meant it metaphorically. But if you definitely want to read the rest of that article, you can go to my website and check that out. But I'm like, I actually watched her entire tour on YouTube. The tour actually looked pretty good. She has 3 dances. I'm like, you should have got one more dancer just to even out the whole dance. Like, I don't like odd numbers. And you're gonna have 3. If you're gonna have backup dance, you need more than some damn 3. But the tour looked pretty good. I love the costume changes. I know they gave her in San Francisco. They have Kim Petras Day. That's why they gave her the plaque. And that was like towards the end of the show. But yeah, she's out here doing her thing. Look. If people are going to be hunching at shows or whatever, I heard there was a story that at a Lady Gaga concert, the same one that Madonna was at, there was gay guys having sex at the concert. People do all kinds of shit in all kinds of places. So y'all should be surprised that people out here, you know, having sex at, you know, a concert, particularly Kim Petras' concert, because she has a whole section in her show that, you know, she's performing the slut pop era. So that scenario would definitely get you out. And then the homage to Madonna with the dances on the bed. I should also point out that, you know, we have a QR code that will link you directly to my website, chrisavalon.com. So anytime you could also use your phone, scan the QR code and it'll take you directly to the website where you can check out the latest hot topics and all that good stuff. So shout out to you, Miss Petrus. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that people are having sex at her concerts because, like I said, she has a whole section of the show where she does, the slut pop era. And those songs definitely, even though that whole album was like, what, under a half an hour? I don't even think it was 20 minutes. It goes pretty quick. So, good luck to you, Miss Mamas. Okay, so we got 2 more topics. I was like, okay, so let me do I know I had a specific order, but I think I'm gonna do I think I'm gonna do the Drag Race story. So Drag Race is casting for season 17, even though we haven't gotten season 16 yet. But yeah, on Monday, October 30th, World of Wonder shared a video on social media announcing that applications for season 17 can now be officially submitted, saying, "Attention all drag queens, casting for RuPaul's Drag Race season 17 is happening now," RuPaul says in the casting call video. Sickening, no? Ru adds, "Who knows? You could be America's next drag superstar." As of this writing, aspiring drag queens can submit their applications to get cast on Drag Race 17 via worldofwonder.com//casting. But beware, because the casting deadline is much closer than you think. While season 17 of Drag Race will likely air in 2025, the final deadline for casting of season of this season is January 5th, 2024 at midnight, which means that's when the new season 16 of Drag Race is actually going to air. Is on January 5th. They always air it around January. And I'm also wondering, is Ru planning on releasing a new album? Because she releases a new album every damn year in January, around the time when a new season of Drag Race comes around. So that's what she's basically going to be doing. From what I hear, from what I was told, is that Drag Race films, they start filming in like March or April. And then that's when they work on the editing and trying to figure out how to tell the story of between the queens and, all that other stuff. So that they spend a lot of time working on the edits for the show. So, it is one of the biggest shows in the franchise. It is the first, so there's a lot that goes in on it. So if you guys have it in you or are willing to, are ready to, showcase your charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent, head over to worldofwonder.com/casting and post your casting tapes and all that other stuff. I also heard, and I didn't know this, that it said, I think Drag Race Germany, Mexico and Brazil all shoot in Colombia. I didn't even know that. In the same building, because I think Paramount has a building out there. So they've all filmed their seasons in that building. I was like, I know from what I was told, was like, that's kind of weird that they don't do it in their own country. I'm like, maybe they don't have like these big major studios, so they have them go somewhere where they have a huge studio that they can film out of. And why not use the facilities there, right? So, yeah, good luck to y'all, whoever's gonna go out there and try out for Drag Race. And I'm actually looking forward to season 16, because season 15 was a pretty cute season. I gotta finish watching it though, even though I've seen the whole season, but I do want to watch like the extended 90-minute versions that they've redone, because I do kind of miss watching that. Okay, so let's get to our final topic and give our condolences to the friends, family, and loved ones of iconic 90s gay adult film star Hank Hightower, whose real name was Henry Robert Hightower, who passed away at age 57. Hightower's close friend Jeff Yarborough shared the sad news on Facebook earlier this week, because I wrote the article 3 days ago. Is when he passed away. So it was like, Wednesday, I believe? Saying, "I was jolted awake by a text earlier this morning. One of the few special guys in my life lost a health battle today. Hank Hightower called me last Sunday to say so long. Hank and I lived large, hard, and fast at an appropriate time of all that. Late 1990s, after a shit ton of our friends had died of AIDS. If you know Hank, then you knew of his love for canines. In his passing, if his passing moves you, please send a donation this season to an animal rescue of your choosing. He did a lot of volunteering, and those non-judgmental licks and hugs meant the world to him. One year, he sold Christmas trees for a pug rescue. Imagine having Hank Hightower tie a fir tree to the roof of your car. He continued, there is a part of the text I got before. Here's a part of the text I got before sunrise saying, I must inform you that Henry Robert Hightower passed away today, November 1st, 2023 at 3:30 a.m. As per his wishes, he died at home surrounded by his 2 pups. He passed peacefully. Memorial details will be sent in a few weeks. I will always hold you close. H.H. and happy trails. Now, former adult film star Eric York, also known as Peter Finland, also shared his condolences with his own tribute to Hightower via X, saying, R.I.P. Frank Hightower, the original muscle bear and good friend. 10 years in a porn I made about 5 friends, and Hank Shore was one of them. Double trouble. He was also battling with cancer and called me 2 days ago to check up on me. Now he is gone. He will be really missed. So Hank was born in California on October 12, 1966. He appeared in dozens of adult films throughout the 90s and early 2000s before eventually retiring and dedicating much of his time to animal rescue efforts. He was known for his scruffy goatee and furry chest, as well as his ability to effortlessly switch from playing a dom leather top to a more submissive persona. Some of his adult film credits include Butt Sluts of Leather, Bathhouse Bears, Dominique's By Adventure, and Total Corruption 2, One Night in Jail. Total Corruption, well, that was my shit, honey. There a lot of people posted their tweets on social media wishing him his condolences, and I was a fan of Hank Hightower. I remember when I was coming up, I didn't know much about porn, but I had a friend, Eric, who collected a lot of old school porn, like a lot of Falcon stuff, a lot of a lot of the Shishi LaRue type film, the Catalina, stuff with them. I used to watch a lot of Enrique Cruz and all that other stuff, but and thug porn. But in between that, I used to watch a lot of the white porn and stuff too. So yeah, I used to watch a lot of Falcon. I used to watch a lot of Catalina. I used to watch a lot of the mainstream porn stuff. So shout out to Hank Hightower. And, I'm sure if y'all look on the social medias, you can find a lot of his past work out there floating around. Now, before we get up out of here, I do want to plug my recent stint on RKN Live. Definitely, if you guys get a chance, check that out with Raquel Red, with 2 Ds. And we talk about a lot of stuff. We also talked about how, when she talked about her, and Felicia. We also talked about my interview with Felicia Collada, Britney's friend, who basically babysat her back in the day, chaperone her. We also talked about the interview that I did with Daniel McGarrigle and Shangela and stuff. I forgot to mention this. She said she actually worked with Shangela back in the day when they did Drag You. That she actually worked on. That's how she knew RuPaul and all this other stuff. She worked on Drag You back in the day. And I wanted to ask her a question about Drag You regarding, the whole situation with, my idea of Drag You should have been, they should have just took some dominant and above drag queens, some drag queens who want to come up in the industry and have like sort of a mentor, like The Voice type thing. That's what I always thought Drag You was going to be, instead of a bunch of drag queens making over straight people or straight women. So we talk about that, and she talks about how, when she worked with Chandler, she didn't see nothing that was going on regarding this. They worked together for years. But like when I told her, I said I had multiple people besides Daniel tell me that they had some issues, or there was some encounters that happened that were less than pleasant. So we talk about a lot of that and a whole lot. So if you guys get a chance, definitely check out that interview. And speaking of Daniel McGarrigle, definitely, if you have not yet, check out my interview with him that is floating around on my YouTube channel. It's gotten a lot of views. I don't necessarily know how many views because I haven't been looking at the numbers. But as I stall, I can go over there and look and see how many I have. It is probably, I don't know why it's taking me here. to this thing. It's taking me to some other thing. But yeah, it's probably, well, from the last time I looked, it was over 500 views and that sort of thing. So if you guys get a chance, definitely check that interview out if you can. Okay. Yeah, so at this note, let us bow out. Okay, so I looked, it's 502 views, and that was like from when I posted it about a month ago. So on that note, I want to thank you all for watching. Tune in next week for a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And as I always say as I close out the show, until next time, ciao, darlings. Oh, it's Asian baloney wash. Annoyed. Oh, hey bitch. Oh, I'm just here to give my opinion and carry in. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch.